Hello, hello. It is I, your Weave Overlord, Navitsina. Welcome to the stream. We're playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. And we're in part 4 as of episode 3 is the saves slot? Whatever. As the save indicates. Let's call it a save slot. I can say right away that I am extremely poorly rested today. It is what it is. But probably not going to be a very long stream. Right. So got a game key. Sorry about the bad start, but yeah, I just got home. Hello, Cyan. How are you? Me too. Yeah, I'm already sleepy, and I haven't even started. My sister's on vacation here. I'm gonna lose access to my nap time frame. Which is pretty important for a guy that sleeps 2 to 4 hours. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Carver. You may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? Hey Kitty, how are you? Congratulations once again. Damn, lovely souls and David. Well, I take my congratulations back. We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new high witness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Too late. Nope. You don't get it anymore. Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Didn't say your soul wasn't lovely? Poor Gumshoe. Very well. Please call your witness to the stand. Kitty, you gotta do your not safe for work drawings. And instead of My Hero Academia, it's Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. By the way, I saw My Hero is finishing soon. I didn't know that. My sad soul now. Did you not know? I'm sure you knew, right? Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. You know? Okay. I mean, I'm sure the anime is gonna go on for many years still. It's just the manga that's ending, right? 3 chapters left? The VTU never stops? You know that you can't translate that word. Is it an addiction when you have a schedule and you're just keeping up the schedule? I am good. How are you, all of Retro? Possibly both ending soon? I'm addicted to work then? Exactly. Addiction is when you have a day off and you're like, you know what? Let's play the video game. But I'm assuming the anime is pretty far behind, right? Or no? Oh, I finished Pluto. What you do with your art? Man, that's addiction. My Hero. To end in 5 chapters. When was this published? 5 days ago. 5 more chapters, okay then. That's actually like right alongside the manga closely anyway? Oh, okay. Really, this is not going to get a time skip or something? They gotta do a later movie where everyone's an adult. I'm up to date on all manga leaks. Does the manga leak? I hate that. There's a movie coming out later this year? Okay. Mr. David doing fine, just arrived home, having dinner, whilst beginning AC Rogue. That's all fine. Okay, nice. I've never touched AC Rogue. What's going on? I see. I hadn't gone on Discord. I see Arrogance is withering some waves. Played Bloodlines as well, so Rogue isn't that big of a deal. I like all Assassin's Creed until Unity. After that, forget it. I get Bloodlines if they'd I think that's an how likely is that on retrocompatibility on PlayStation? Bloodlines. I think it's not that unlikely. It's not first party, but it's an exclusive. I'm gonna say the likelihood of we getting Assassin's Creed Bloodlines on retrocompatibility during the life cycle of the PS5 is a 35% likelihood. Very scientific. Yeah, I haven't been home. I'm just checking up on things. Yeah, I actually played it. Been listening to a podcast about the French Revolution, and the podcaster brought up Unity in it. Interesting. Did he call it shit? Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you in the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. Okay, that's what I needed. This was recorded in 2014-15, so Unity was the most recent Assassin's Creed game. Well, it's the only one in France, anyway. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's home is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. And then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Yeah, we talked about it. I still gotta give those games a shot eventually. I guess if my dad plays them, I'll eventually play like an hour in all of them. Getting the hard parts done. For like 2 hours maybe. My dad asked me to do something recently in Brotherhood. I did it first try. Just chasing a guy. I just cut him off and I caught him like immediately. My dad probably just chases exactly the same route that they do. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. Undertale? I don't know what that is. Undertale? I also don't know what that is. Is it Undertale? Oh, written like that. No, I do know what it is. Never mind. I'm stupid. I also would like to play that game, but whenever I see gameplay, I'm like, no. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Damn. That's so far removed from a word, Ruben. The Twitch dialects coordinator here, what the fuck are you doing? I am honoring my friends, the Germans. What the fuck? You got an Earth 3 badge? They have the OG trilogy of GTA for the PS2. Nice, nice. A bit of a gamer. I mean, every single channel is playing it. It's kind of hard not to watch. I was watching too, but I think I was watching on YouTube. Damn. Yep, time to get Liberty City stories and Vice City stories. Man, I feel like shit. Cat was sitting in my lap today. And I like Cat. I didn't shoo Cat. But now I'm like, oh man. Just put me out of my misery, man. Cats are a walking allergy? Yeah, same for me. So I feel like shit. I was checking in on PvP, but it was just still clearing, so I left. Okay. The GBA? Why not get them on PS1? Also, why did you get Liberty City and Vice City Stories on PSP instead of PS2? At least you would enjoy two analogs instead of one. PSP is the original version? Oh, excuse me. So, Crazy Taxi, you must get the arcade version then. So, Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? Yeah, PSP had amazing stuff. I am trying to play a PSP game these days, but some trophies are a little fucked. Even with the the replay, the rewind. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. It does sound good, yeah. I don't disagree. When given the choice, I think the PS2 version is the one to go with because of the dual analog. And that's true for a lot of the games that Sony already put out on the backwards compatibility. The siphon filters especially. But your first GTA was Liberty City Stories? What the fuck? That must be a first in the world. Yes, very good, Melty. Also, Arrogance, I saw you were like, getting, withered. I'm so sorry. You said that you were resting in bed? One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. You're from 2002? Damn, that's young. Is this the same game with more love for the player and more combat death? Slow-key horny cutscenes like 50% of the time? Oh, then let's go play it right now. Yeah, Sonic Heroes never returned home. That's what happens when you lend someone a video game. Yeah, they're horny, but it's the same kind of character design. That's kind of like Genshin. Can't go too far. Getting some interference in the image sometimes. Damn. They get the luxury of using Genshin as stepping stone, much better animation. Even outside of like actual cutscenes. Or when they're just talking, do they just stand around as well? Sonic Heroes is kind of shit, I think. Doesn't playing Ace Attorney when you could be playing potential throw favorite Tsukihime? Absolutely. Cinematic frames on some stuff, generic angles for some stuff, okay. Can you replay cutscenes in that game? It's better than Shadow the Hedgehog. Haven't played Colors. It is better than Shadow the Hedgehog. Absolutely. Shadow the Hedgehog is the pinnacle of it's the pinnacle of still tolerable bad Sonic. There's only one game worse than that, but it's not tolerable, and that's Sonic 06. Let me just reset the game. The capture card, I mean. To some level of quality of life missing, like viewing characters you don't own, such tutorials for people that aren't on banners. Okay. Every scene girl's first crush Shadow? You mean every furry girl? Yeah, I wouldn't know about the final boss because I never got that far. Kitty, did you have a crush on Shadow? Inuyasha, okay. Now, that's a crush that I can understand. But yeah, I would expect girls to all go for Sesshomaru. May I spoil the game for you, or will you play Sonic Heroes 2? I don't know if I'll play it, but no, I don't see a need to spoil it. Always figured girls would be more into Yu Yu Hakusho. Hakusho, sure. You're saying that I was about to bring up the final boss? The girl who loved him in that show? Do love the Inuyasha? Hey, how's it going? Now that Throw is here, we can actually discuss anime for real. Time to talk politics? That's a good thing. So what is everyone's handicap in golf? I am so sorry for you guys. But that makes me feel sorry for the entire world. Yes. Did you not get that that reference? Ha ha. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. You know why I'm asking about the golf handicap, right? Now, the witness will proceed with his testimony. Problem with Sonic Heroes is it has too many long levels and boring minigames. Yeah, I also don't like the concept of using You don't remember what character? I don't like the concept of using like two friends as gloves or as platforms. This guy, he's probably the culprit of this case. Solemn blur. You remember the judge? Accusing a handicapped person? How have I been liking this so far? I like it a lot. You said you played the first one, right? So I think you know what to expect. It's the same. If you liked it and want more, here's more. If you like it but think it can improve, well, this isn't the one where it improves. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's not better and it's not worse. But yeah, you did these in a row, right, Throw? You did all three in a row, yes? Yeah, I would expect them to blend together even more in a row. Don't look at your friend list. I saw you were playing Apollo. What am I looking for? GGPSM, I'm playing Apollo. It said you were playing Apollo when I last looked. Yeah. Look at my beautiful group. Fashion Police Squad at David's special. Do you platinum it? Was it fun? I especially liked what I did with Sparkle there. It's them. Throw, go yell at Arrogance because he's playing Wuthering Waves. Am I doing a little of the new Yonkai story with the amount of X I have to mash is insane? Well, lets me skip important stuff if I want. Can't you skip in Honkai? I always thought you could. I guess I never tried. I try when I die and have to go again, and it lets me. Oh. don't die because Clara. Well, I've died before. Also, if you don't play the last boss of Penacony, Wright, he's gonna one-shot the entire group. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. You said that you were resting in bed? That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? I was indeed. Pressing acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. Does he not have windows because the birds fly in? Is that it? No, Hall of Retro. I was smart enough by the PS2 era to know that licensed video games suck. You think Acro is Native American or no? No. He's cultural appropriator. Yeah. That is what's gonna marry him. By the way, I am concerned. We need to go back. Did no one understand when I talk about the golf handicap? Am I the only one who checked out the debate, the political debate? The presidential debate? We know better. You didn't even look at the highlights? They had a teasy over their golf game. It was a disaster. Oh, good. Okay. So, someone knows about it. Thank you. They were discussing who had the biggest handicap. Leader of the free world, y'all. Trump has beaten Tiger Woods' score before. Allegedly? Felonies? I don't think he can beat that either. Can he? Let's try. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? No. Cheats definitely did make some of those old games better. The episode 1 game? I don't think I like that. No, I definitely didn't like it. I don't even know what my first Star Wars game was. Lego Star Wars, maybe? Battlefront? What else could it have been? I definitely had no Star Wars on PS1. No Dark Force? No. My first first-person shooter was Killzone 1. Melty, no. Bad. Bad Melty, down. That explains a lot. It's the one that convinced me that those games could be good. Because my dad has always been like, no, these games are shit, let's not buy them. Your first FPS was Bioshock. Damn, that's even later. Yeah, it's a first-person game. Your dad is guilty of war crimes. He bought you Sonic. I mean, sure. Well, GoldenEye is way earlier. The first FPS was some Star Wars game with a flight stick? Oh boy. By the way, I did spend a bunch of time today playing this. And I have to say, by Volume 3, I could have avoided the flashback classics. Old games are pretty bad. No, I had fun with Volume 1 and 2. Volume 3 stretched it. There's like 5 really fun games, but the rest of the stuff is either redundant or really bad. Really bad. There's a reason the game industry created the Sarah, and it wasn't just because of E.T. Absolutely. There's a game here. I even laughed because I was playing this at my dad's house. And I booted up a different game, and I was like, oh, it's the same game, but different, but the same. Because it was exactly the same game with a different color. It doesn't have ET, it's just stuff from Atari. Like first party. Quake was only after Doom 2. E.T. is from Atari? I think E.T. is on Atari, but not from Atari, right? Speaking of Quake, there it is. Atari made it? Really? Okay. My bad then. I don't have evidence for this. I'm just gonna do something. Reset. First FPS was either Doom or Wolfie, play them around the same time. When I played the original Wolfie, my dad had a weird obsession with it as a modern game because he never had too much time with the original Atari. The original? Or, Wolfenstein 3D? I only played Wolfenstein 3D. I played it on PS3 though. And I did play Doom, as you all know. You watched it. I mean, I also streamed Wolfenstein 3D, I think. The dad of FPS? It's more of a granddad. Doom is the dad. Isn't it? I think that's the convention. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. Are you sure it was a human being? Could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. Old enough to have lived through when Doom was marketed as freeware on floppy disks, having put on big bins in grocery stores for people to just take and try out. Think we got automobiles and moving pictures soon after? Man, I can't imagine. Imagine distributing Doom freely, like, hey kid, here's Doom. Don't worry about it, just play the game. Don't tell your dad. I mean, he probably has to install it for you. That's pretty much what happened. I got my first copy of Doom from taking a floppy disk home from the store. Your parents were like, yeah, sure, little throw. Do whatever you want. Excuse me, son. Did you just chainsaw through a human? Yeah, Dad. Wasn't that cool? Yes, it was! My mom had no clue what I was up to. Even now, Throw is always hiding when he plays his weeb games. Like, Mom, I swear those bikini costumes are the default in One Shambara. Look, in the cover it says Bikini Samurai Warriors, because that's the default costume. I did not pay for the bikinis any extra. This is Throw just yesterday. Your parents know very little. What about the video games, though? Well, the action figure is plausible, and I am playing this. Very well. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix, right? Testify to the truth and only the truth. Just as if we were there with you that night. My mom bought me a Wii. Hated it whenever I played it, except for Wii Sports because it was exercise. Oh. Yeah, I only had one computer game, and it was enough to decide that I would never want to play on a computer again. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just straightened this testimony. Wonder if Echo's statement jives with the facts. There's nothing. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? I convinced my dad to buy me Mario Paint on SNES because it was educational. Mario Paint? Do I know what that is? My first MP3 was a tape recorder? What? Mario Paint. Oh. Is there any job Mario hasn't had? This is wild, I was using a mouse on the SNES. The fuck? Wait, is this music? Convinced my mom to let me watch Jack and Jill staring at Adam Sandler. Good job, Melty. Wasn't even allowed to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. Guys, I was thinking about this today or yesterday or something. Is it just me, or did no one care about Nightmare Before Christmas before both Corpse Bride and Kingdom Hearts came out? Look, I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I do, and I think it's better than Corpse Bride. But I feel like those two things, both Kingdom Hearts and Corpse Bride, made people interested and go back and watch it and discover it again. Because I really feel like no one knew that movie here, at least here in Portugal. The first time I had contact with Nightmare Before Christmas was in Kingdom Hearts. 90% of the movie I've ever met that liked that movie, I've never heard of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, but it's like, I felt like it was something that spread. So, it started with Kingdom Hearts and Corpse Bride, and then people realized that, oh shit, Nightmare Before Christmas is great. So they spread the Nightmare Before Christmas disease, not the Kingdom Hearts disease. The PS2 game? Yeah, but that's after Kingdom Hearts. That came way later than Kingdom Hearts. The unofficial sequel. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Do you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. Let's try this one, I think. By the way, guys, our conversation I said was getting demonetized and banned. Perfectly fine. Suitable for all advertisers. Good job, YouTube. Let me see if that... I think that's still true. Yep. By the way, people... follow my YouTube. If you don't want to see the VODs, which I totally understand, because you are on Twitch, follow and mute it. But give me a follow, because I need to hit at least 500 to monetize. Yep, it's the other way around. It should be the other way around. YouTube is where you get engagement. I just realized it yesterday, because, like, I am close to being able to monetize on YouTube in terms of views and watch hours and stuff. But, at the same time, like, in terms of subs, very far behind. But yeah, like I said, I totally understand. I don't like watching old VODs. So mute it if you want. I just can use the sub. Elgaberry's most stuff these days. Yeah, I was analyzing that on the stream yesterday. My most popular stuff, ones are probably unwatchable because of us. Yeah, because I mean, if you want to watch this game, I've been paused on this choice for 3 hours. But what was I saying? Like, the rare stuff is what does the best. Not the popular stuff, but the rare stuff. The stuff that's been discontinued, or the games that no one can finish. So the obscure stuff does better for me. The less competition, probably. I'm not gonna call it a huge contradiction. I don't think... I I don't think I want to call attention. I want to call attention to something, but it's not with evidence. Is Dingling a Native American name? You doing OnlyFans on their day one? Says the guy who was like, "Oh, your Patreon is too explicit for me. I need to unsub from it." He wants you naked, not other women. Fair. I like how you say other women because I'm a woman. I'll sub to the Patreon until I open Patreon in front of a colleague. Well, why would you open Patreon in front of a colleague? I can't look anything. I was going to show him a podcast and I forgot about your content. I think that's a contradiction, but I can't point at it with evidence. When did you start thinking that what you saw wasn't a dream? What did you put on that Patreon, Devin? You'll have to subscribe to find out. That's not important. I believe that the prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness's memory. Just to make sure, let's ask the witness. Objection. Sustained. Don't sustain that. Acro must be lying about what he saw, right? Of course he is. Now the challenge will be to expose his lies in court. We'll put the pedal to the metal, Nick. They didn't forget them. It's all deliberate. Speaking of, another month coming up, and I don't have my files back. So, something tells me Patreon next month is going to have a theme of no filters, no editing. Gotta pick someone who knows how to do some makeup. PC repair guy having a field day. Yeah, he says he's never seen anything that bad. Sega's reported a 6.6 billion net loss. All those Game Pass deals been working out great, I see. Man. I don't even know how these companies stay afloat with so much loss. How does that even work, though? If that was true, Eric. See, I don't think that way. arrogance? Because if that was true, he can just copy it. I am a little nervous about him digging through my files. Quite nervous. But if that was the only thing, he would just copy the files and keep it. It's a slow process, said it yourself. Yeah, very slow. How does what work? How can a company have so much loss and stay afloat? That's what I'm asking. Generally, your region cares a lot about such. Here it might be valid. Huh? Okay, Melty. Like, do you pay this loss with a previous profit? Or do you have to take a loan? They don't always have losses. If they did, they wouldn't be in business for very long. So this loss is offset by a previous year's gains? Or do you have to take a loan to stay afloat? I mean, like, what did they lose money on? What did they put out, like, last year that wasn't good? That was a flop. Because Like a Dragon is doing well, right? Businesses generally like always showing a profit, but yes, some quarters/years are going to be more investment focused with a payoff down the road. Sometimes when things aren't working out, they take out lines of credit. Okay. Also, answer me something. Why am I going to you with these questions? When I can just Google. But imagine a company goes public. Can they create more shares after going public? I think so, right? But that dilutes the shares of the people that already have shares, yes? What would make someone be okay with that? When a company does even worse, they call you Embracer Group. Yes, more shares can be created. But that will dilute your shares. Like what makes a shareholder agree to that? Like, yeah, you can turn my 30% into 20%. Like, why would I agree to that? Because of the influx of cash for the company? Just because it's for the company, not for me, right? Directly. These are things I've been thinking of because well, that is not the idea, Hall of Retro. But sure. was I saying? I was pondering this because I was watching. I was watching a movie, The House of Gucci, which is about the time when the company went public and the events surrounding that. So that's why this was on my mind. Buffering, but I think what you asked is why they would agree. Well, shareholders vote on things and the board of directors vote on things, and sometimes the round of investment pays off for projects that will pay greater dividends down the line. Yeah, there's going to be shareholders that are against it. They're outvoted. Okay. Yeah, what I mean is, like, this investment with more shares goes into the company, not into the pockets of the shareholders, right? At least not directly. Helps to have a company culture of turnovers and never have to pay benefits. Okay. What did you ask? What did I ask? That's a good question. The investment for the new shares goes into the company. The people who get their shares diluted don't get any money, right? Because that money is for the company, not for the shareholder. It can be for the shareholder down the line for better profits, but not directly. Well, no, but I'll say yes, because the investment goes into the company, which drives the profit of the company, which then pays out larger dividends. Right. But not directly. So yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but then you're selling your shares, not getting them diluted. Different thing. Okay. But yeah, going back to when this all started because of Sega. I don't know why Sega would have so many losses. Do we have like sales numbers for the Yakuza stuff? Is it less popular than we think it is? I have to say, when they mentioned that very big project, which seems to include like a bunch of other things inside of it, like Jet Set Radio, Outrun, Crazy Taxi, like all those reboots they're doing that seem to be all in one thing. That looks like a scary bet. Because the last one was the fastest selling at 1 million copies. It's likely a fraction of the size you think it is. Okay. At 1 million copies. But they... Okay, but it was the fastest selling. So, they know how much it sells, and they can't, if they're responsible, they're not going above it, right? Thunder 3 Reload sold 1 million units within its first week of release, making it the fastest-selling game in Atlus's history. I find it amazing how 1 million units is still, if they're responsible, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they do, knowing it's not really their ass. Square Enix comes to the same conclusion every 3 years. These people are not smart. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. I know this isn't very relevant to the space we most look at, but Harada from Tekken put out a very, very interesting tweet about a game development in Japan. Did you see that? Yeah, but Square is disappointed about games not hitting 5 million. And I feel like, for example, Stellar Blade hit 1 million, and the company was delighted. By the way, I think I saw Shadow of the Earth Tree hit 5 million, which is completely crazy. Because they live in reality unlike Square? Yeah, I just don't understand. I don't know if I can find it. This guy tweets a lot. June 27th. I'm trying to show you, but he's one of these people that tweet every single thought that comes to his mind. I think I found it. Okay, as of November 2023, the whole series has sold 21.3 million copies. All 400 Yakuza games combined have sold roughly the same number as Horizon. Yeah. Feel so bad for people that actively use Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I don't go on Twitter, this was just brought to my attention. What? Why doesn't this work? I didn't change my monitor. Okay. Must have been something with the changing of the discs. I don't understand why that wasn't working. I haven't used this since then. Prefer Twitter when it was a black screen? Well, it is a black screen for me. So, he's talking about the difference between Soul Calibur and Tekken, but he does touch on some interesting things, I think. Sorry. Want a novel? I didn't even know you could write this much on Twitter, man. But I thought it was really interesting because Twitter's become pay to win. Yeah, I remember. He's talking basically about how Soul Calibur is dead because the people high up. Oh, I am. That's interesting. The people high up do not understand like what makes a good fighting game or a bad fighting game. Because they're all like only pencil pushers, right? Money people. And that led to the downfall of Soul Calibur, with Soul Calibur 5 being like someone's grand idea of let's just throw away Alpha the cast. Because the creator behind Soul Calibur got out of the company. And he said basically, I feel like that's pretty self-evident by every gaming company on Earth announcing an NFT initiative a few years ago. Yeah. Geralt was 6. 5 is Ezio. Yeah. In case of fighting games, there have been many instances in which the series has stagnated or ceased to exist when a key player in the franchise leaves or disappears. This is mostly about the fact that Soul Calibur is dead. The reasons for the disappearance of these key persons are often not only their own problems. In the case of Soul Calibur, I can assure you, having seen it up close and personal, this is the case. It's simply a matter of sales and marketing, but I can tell you that the organizational changes and decision makers had a great deal to do with it. So basically, he's saying, like, Soul Calibur didn't die because people didn't like it or it didn't sell, but because the higher-ups that were telling you what to do with Soul Calibur didn't understand it. So support personnel for planning and debugging of Soul Edge has since served as co-director for Soul Calibur 4, basically been in the position of maintaining a certain distance from the franchise. Like, getting in the way of the creatives, right? That's basically what he's saying. Like, if you see here, in the past, the Soul Calibur had a strong leader named Yotoriyama, and above all, the team of engineers was more knowledgeable about fighting game than the Tekken team, and had excellent programming skills. And if you play those games, you can tell that Soul Calibur is a better game, I think. The Tekken project has been called a group of outlaw bellicists since the days of the old Namco and was a unique group in the development department, but Project Soul was an elite group, sophisticated development team. At the dawn of the Polygon era, Namco and Sega were leading the video game industry and rivalries were intensifying. In a similar vein, the rivalry between Tekken Project and Project Soul was intensifying. It was in the same game designer department as the Toriyama of Project Soul, but we had friction to the point where we fought daily. It was just the first 10 years, and we were very close after that. At a Quake, Bandai Namco, and Tekken and Soul Calibur were always rivals within the company as well. More so than people can imagine. Well, later on, I think this is a novel. Later on, he says it. So he got really he is a creative. He's the lead of Tekken. But he became so popular that he was basically forced into taking a job as an executive. They really wanted him to be an executive and he wanted the pay raise. So he took it. But he used this position as an executive to let him still be in charge of Tekken. You need compromise between creative and business for a good and successful project that can support and lead to more projects. Blaming the executives is usually too simplistic. Yeah, but look, I think this is interesting because usually out of Japan, no one talks about any of this. And Harada basically made himself irreplaceable in a way that he can say this stuff, but other people would not be able to say this stuff, I think. But yeah, so rivals inside the company, whatever. Policies clashed. Debate on whether it was a good thing. Have lever guards or button guards? Sure. Project Soul certainly had a leader and staff with soul and clear vision, and the enthusiasm of the game designers on site could have surpassed that of the Tekken team, and it was enough to make us feel impatient. Project Soul had been able to maintain that structure. Sometimes wonder if things might be a little different today. When paradigm shift from the arcade market to the console market occurred, Soul Calibur's console version was outperforming Tekken in the North American market and had a high technical reputation. On the other hand, Tekken had grown to be an immovable object that earned overwhelming top income in the arcade game market, and in home use, it was a title that sold less than Soul Calibur in North America and was characterized by wide sales in many countries in all regions. Soul Calibur was always seen as having a promising future even within Namco and was considered to be capable of expanding beyond the realm of fighting game in a rather global perspective. Even at the time, it had a certain appreciation for the hypothetical possibilities. Sure, it's literally the same thing that happened with Kojima. Kojima was a big swinging dick who went way over budget, and the business side had enough of it. Oh, and we all know the business side of Konami is idiotic, and I highly doubt Kojima didn't cause plenty of friction and problems. Yeah, absolutely. He went way over budget. Yeah. 4 years, he would have finished Act 3. And it would just be the same characters from Metal Gear Solid 1 doing the exact same lines from 1. Because he became self-referential. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 5 is an exercise in ego. It really is. I would be ashamed of putting that game out. Like, if I made it, I would be ashamed of putting it out. I think this is it. As you know, Japanese game companies in the IT industry do not have the same organizational systems as those found on the west coast of North America. There are not many presidents or directors with engineering or game designer backgrounds, and most of them have a sales background, or are management professionals, or come from banks. In other words, people with excellent organizational management skills have become decision makers. This is not a snide remark, but a fact. One thing is for sure, they are not familiar with game development, game branding, or the game community. For example, I don't know why he mentions West Coast. Like, what's the difference between the companies on the East Coast? But on the West Coast of the US, each position has its own board of directors, but this is not the practice in Japan. As a result, what happens in the case of major game companies is that the management and operation of game companies is focused on organizational management and human capital available resources. Within this framework, game developers will do their best. But what will be the career roadmap for game developers? I don't know what that means either. I'm just reading. He probably also Google translated this. The career path of a game developer who focuses on organizational management and human capital available resources results in becoming a manager of an organization. This is a phrase that many of the leaders of each part of the Ace Combat project, both we at Tekken Project and Project Soul, have actually been asked. How long are you going to be in the field? When are you going to become a manager? And when will you be the manager of the organization? How long will you be the creator? Yeah, that was directed at the director of Ace Combat. Like, when are you stopping... like, when are you stopping being the fucking game developer and get a real job? Which... Look, I find this interesting. Because it's an insight into a culture, a video game culture that is very important to us, but we don't have a lot of insights into. But his English is clearly not not the best every time. No one in the organization at the time was asking when you're going to grow up to be a great game developer. Literally not one person talked about the career path of a game developer. It was all about management and administration, and it was true that this was not an organization that could properly evaluate the content of games and their value. And by becoming a manager of an organization, he meant that one should not stick to one thing forever, but should broaden one's perspective to every department, division, and business. In fact, at the time, the only way to advance one's career was under such a system. Broadening one's horizon sounded good, but in game development, it was the opposite of pursuing a single path or mastering something. At that time, the concept of job rotation was widespread based on the idea of broadening one's horizons. It's going in circles a bit. It was originally intended for younger employees, but as a result, it was undoubtedly one of the factors that gave rise to the trend that working only on a specific game or specific genre of work forever is not a career development and is not valued. When the phenomenon of people leaving various titles and series as if they were being peeled off began to occur. Each time a project's key players were peeled away, the big dreams and visions that the project once held became weaker. Project Soul was struggling to survive, or so it seemed to me, especially among its younger members. However, it seems that it was difficult for them to maintain their vision. will and organizational structure now that they are no longer in the game development-centered world of the past, but rather a game development team that is just one of all the businesses in the group companies. So I still think you can understand what he's saying. Like, we talk about like Arcane, where hey, the people who made Dishonored are gone. Like they lost that know-how. And here it's like it's different. That's like they want to lose that. They want the developers to go around doing different types of games and different things instead of specializing in what they want to do, what they love, and what they do best. And that's super weird. I think that's super weird. At the same time, of course, this was happening to me in the same situation. Yeah. The company was split into the development company and the publishing company, and I became the publishing company member, but also the head of the new department called Global Business Development, which had nothing to do with game development. None of my subordinates were in development, they were all marketing staff. This meant that from a company organizational point of view, I was out of the Tekken project, both in terms of the company itself, its divisions and departments, and its budget management. This was not my idea, of course. It was decided by the management at the time according to the company policy I mentioned earlier. While this might have put me on a career path, I had something else in mind entirely. I made the decision to lead the Tekken project despite the fact that I was in a different company, department, and division and had no budget authority. I practically manipulated the creative and budget planning. So yeah, this is what I mentioned before that he said. He basically had to force people to let him go and still be the developer of Tekken because it's seen as wrong that you continue doing the same thing for so long. I don't know. I don't know if this is just like Bandai Namco or just Namco, but it seems like a weird look at their organizations. I don't know why I brought this up. Probably because Sega is weird as well, right? Depends on the company, I'm sure. I've seen that attitude in U.S. companies as well. It's vastly different in each business. Okay. Yeah, the way he talks, clearly, but basically, this is all to say that Soul Calibur is dead because the people were forced to rotate to other projects instead of letting the people who want to work on Soul Calibur work on Soul Calibur. And somewhere he says that it's not because of sales or something. Uh, Because he says the game sold like 2 million. Soul Calibur 6. Yeah, it's a big tweet. It's hard to find what the like a specific thing. Um, but yeah, I think you get the idea. Do you not know who this is, Throw? The person we were talking about? I'm sure you've seen him in a conference announcing a DLC character. No? Maybe? Phoenix Wright? It looks like he should be in the next Yakuza game. He definitely does look like that. The only fighting game person I know is Ed Boon. I know Ed Boon and Katsuhiro Arada. And that's it, I think. Yeah, and Yoshinori Ono from Street Fighter. I don't know, I'll take, obviously people have their own opinions, right? That's how it works. But any little insight into the Japanese game development culture, I think is fun. Even if it's just one-sided. By the way, I still don't understand, and maybe those are really popular and get people to try the game or buy the game or whatever, but Mortal Kombat has really interesting characters, and they keep doing the dumbest guest characters. Look, Mortal Kombat is my least favorite fighting game series of them all. That's about making money. I don't think they have to pay for the license. So, is it really that popular? Tekken did that only once, I think, and I hated it. But he was Negan from Walking Dead. What the fuck? Why the hell is Negan in Tekken? And why the hell is Leatherface in Mortal Kombat? And Peacemaker? Peacemaker, thank you. Peacemaker, Homelander, yeah, like, why? Why? What the fuck, man? Even Noctis, like, what the fuck, man? Noctis in Tekken? I still think Link and Ezio were nice in Soul Calibur, but like Yoda and Darth Vader are completely awful. Fun to play as Yoda though. And it just doesn't fit. Geralt also a good idea, I think. I think games should be operating as a platform and should never reduce the roster, but fuck players. Yeah. I agree with that. I guess Tekken does that with, like, generationally. There's only one per generation. But I think it's kind of weird when you get a sequel and it's like, oh, fan favorite XYZ not included. What? Why? And I do think this weird idea of redoing almost the entire roster that happens in Tekken 3, it happens in Soul Calibur 5, happens in Street Fighter 3. It was never popular. It only worked on Tekken 3 because that game was incredible and it was a big advancement compared to Tekken 2. But I can't understand it. People love Street Fighter 3 now because they play Third Strike, which reintroduces a bunch of old characters. But the original Street Fighter 3 it only has Ryu from the original cast. I don't even think it has Ken. I might be wrong on that. Like, no one liked it. It has Dudley, and that's the only character that matters in Street Fighter? What? Dudley? No. No. Don't hate on Dudley. What is there to like? I have to say, I'm very lost. I found it. Clearly saw the silk hat as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. There is a contradiction here. We already know the hat stayed behind. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. Well, I already read all this. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. It would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Order! As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this courts today? Been buffering for 10 minutes. What the fuck, bro? Everything's good. Is your internet acting up? Yeah, just my region of Twitch. Can you change your server? Well, he is the real culprit, I think. But let's just go with the grudge. My PS5 is always the bottleneck for me, so much bandwidth suck. What speed do you guys have? $750 down, 1 gig up. Holy shit! Okay. I think I have 500, I think. Actually, no. I think, no, I pay for 100. Right now I have 500, 120. What bottlenecks incredibly is PlayStation 4. Absent is because Acro has a grudge against the defendants. Shame I don't have a PS5 to play on. I am on my PS5. What do you mean? I just always thought that the download speed you have doesn't matter when you're on a PS4, because the PS4 will only download at a snail's pace whenever internet you have. Which is why he's trying to frame Max. Ow, why me? What did I do? Never get your fat head in the way of a whip bent on finding justice. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I have no interest in your silly little theories. He has a grudge against the defendant, huh? You wouldn't happen to have proof of that? Well, that's the thing. Mr. Wright, thanks to you, I got my head lashed by Mrs. Von Karma's whip. I don't like getting hit for nothing, so how about you answer with an explanation? It depends on your PSN region. Dude, seriously, I would still, to this day, not want to go digital with my purchases if I could avoid it, if the speed was the PS4 speed. You could manufacture higher speeds? Really? To me, there were always shitty speeds. Really shitty speeds. By the way, I don't think we talked about this. PlayStation Stars? What the actual fuck is happening? Did we talk about this? Sometimes I get confused because it's like, was it Sacred Symbols talking about it, or was it us? I think it was only Sacred Symbols. Sony really has the flimsiest infrastructure that exists in existence. We definitely are inhabiting a house of cards here. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. About it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? Oh. Oh, he has a grudge against Max is not accepted. I gotta incriminate him now. Shit? Okay. Let's do it. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Beating a tough boss in the Elden Ring DLC, no better feeling? You, trudging through? Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Do you have PlayStation Stars arrogance, Cyan? trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Oh, really? If you don't believe me, just look at their witness. It's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things? See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. She's right, way to pick on the disabled, you heartless cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Height? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Akro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Akro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Akro have an accomplice? I'm gonna say no. Damn it, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Afro planned and committed this murder all by himself. What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know that I can't... What I can't do, I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Height. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright? I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingley? When the crime was committed? There's no way he was anywhere but exactly right here. In the plaza? He was at the scene of the crime itself? Alright, the murderer would have had to have met the victim. Ow! Miss Von Karma, stop it! You will be quiet and refrain from striking people. The witness could not have possibly left the lodging house on his own. Not to mention what Mr. Phoenix Height just said. That was no accomplice, remember? Yeah, you're right. You think I could get another chance? Wait just 1 minute. Don't forget about my proverbial whip as well. It's alright, I'd like to clear something up. Oh. So he wasn't at the crime scene? How was he not at the crime scene? He was obviously here the entire time. That's Akro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Akro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Akro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Tingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... He's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. He did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it. And to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust. It's quite a large bust, and because it's life-sized, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy. Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro... I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? From Karma. She's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall for time. A ruse? A rouse? No, a ruse doesn't have an O. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we needed to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. A woman will sink to any low to win a case. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. By the way, I finished chapter 2 of It Takes Two with my dad today. It's no longer a game with 0 trophies on my list. Actually, I think it's my game number 1000 on my profile. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own 2 hands. I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? Crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who will lose either, Slowpoke? I mean, Nick? Whoa, how did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. Why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out of the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves are severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus there's no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you got a point. Hey, Nick! Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sorta like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, and then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. Only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. Well, I think I've already explained things sufficiently. The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head. I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster. Let's take it, Nick. Show them what you got. I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool, but maybe we overlooked something. Okay. Let's take a quick break. I won't be long. Alright, I'm back. Got some water. Had none. What are we objecting to? This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement. It doesn't? It does! What do you mean? Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? Who are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may have. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No. Or this is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope. Then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow! 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 The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made. Indeed, it had the most peculiar feature. It's the size of the lock. The boxes are a remarkable size. I think you can tell from the picture that the wooden box is very large. To lift it up, one would have been required to squat, meaning that one would have had to have taken it up in both arms, right? Moreover, the box is quite heavy. It weighs in the neighborhood of 20 pounds. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down, which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Phew. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place the wooden box on the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. That means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Well, there is, it's a monkey. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. Uh-oh. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room? A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Acro? Money is a strong monkey, right? It would be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order, order. I said order. Miss Von Karma. Where's the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. You mean this bust was the murder weapon? Purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Akron saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Akron was the murderer. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix, right? And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Rattleberry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? He saw Max's Asked who was the other person who saw in the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Most said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off of the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? So, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. No. Not slot 3. Who put the cloak on the bust? Who indeed? Him? You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. And what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain to yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used the rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. That's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bus hit the victim, You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Height. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this isn't true. This just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged in onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murder disappearing into the sky came to be. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. It could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. So right, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? Contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. Is that enough talking amongst yourselves? Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Hard proof that I unravel. What does that even mean? Contradiction with what Mo said. Oh man. I'm getting super sleepy. No. Contradiction with Mo's testimony. What did Mo say? I don't know. I'm also dying here. I closed my eyes for like a minute, didn't I? That calls for a... I guess I'm gonna go for today. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, well, sure. What happens on the game over? I don't remember. Oh damn, they just boot you. Okay, well. Fuck you too, yes. Like I said, my nap time is gonna be a very problematic thing the next weeks. At least the next week. So hopefully tomorrow I'm better, but I'm not holding on to any hope. Yeah. It's been almost nothing new on Ace Attorney because we were looking at a bunch of other shit. But it is what it is. Tomorrow's my day off, but I'll try to stream something. Either this or some sponsor game. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, and goodbye.